Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel and the July 2024 monthly wrap-up. I know it's coming to you guys late, but my month has been extremely busy, July and August. And you know, I was feeling really bad about being so late with these monthly wrap-ups, but my life is busy, and when you think about your life being busy, you have to remember that that is another way of saying that your life is full. My cup is full, and I am so grateful for the abundance that I have in order to be busy and to have my children, to have these conversations with them, to do these things with them and for them and prepare them for what's coming. So it's been a really, really good month. July was a lot of things. We had my oldest son's 40th birthday. We took my youngest daughter to her freshman year of high school. So she started high school. And then also it is the 19th year of my youngest son's passing. So July was busy. There was a lot of things going on in July, plus just preparing for the things that are coming within the month of August. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new decks within my collection. So I was gifted several decks by Ethany, and you're going to see some of these being put to work. Actually, all of these were put to work this month, and there is a video of an unboxing of these beautiful gifts, so I will reference that. But the only deck that I didn't use was Modern Love Tarot, and it's just that I don't do too many love readings in that respect, but this deck is wonderful for them, so I will be working with it at some point. It's just July just wasn't the time. So again, you're going to see these decks in action throughout my month of journaling and working with things. So that is the new decks. As far as books are concerned, I didn't buy any books, and there's just one more deck that was new to my collection this month that I purchased, and that is the Peculiar Pathways Tarot by Lennox Reese. So this is the creator of Coastal Curiosities. Guys, okay, I got this in at the end of the month, so you're really going to see this being put to work in the month of August. So unfortunately, you're going to have to wait, but I did do a walkthrough, and I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm so impressed by that deck. So that's another link that I will put down below. And this is the calendar month for July, and the keywords and the day and the number in correlation to the Mayan cosmology, which is something that I follow every day. Every day I look at the energy of the day and I work with that energy to create my flow for yoga. If I'm having any healing sessions that day, I take that energy into consideration. And also just as a reflection and something to learn from and something to keep in mind throughout my day about how to work with things. As far as the Mayan goddess of the month, I was working with the energy of Xitlactlicle. And this particular goddess is the goddess of the cosmos, of the stars. She is referred to as she with skirt of stars. And she is a goddess that is credited with the creation of the cosmos. And her influence is of that of the stars, the Milky Way, the earth, as well as the concepts of death and darkness. So it was very interesting to work with this type of energy this month when I was looking at so many life issues this month, including death and how that affects you. And where in your life you kind of lead into darkness based upon what you're experiencing. So July is heavy. Like there's a lot of things going on for me. But yeah, she was a really great goddess to work with in that month. And then I just got right into it. There wasn't a lot of time or space for anything other than cards and some healing sessions, and then of course the yoga classes that I have, and then dealing with the kids. So there wasn't a lot of room for any extra studies that sometimes I go into depth. And like a couple of months ago, I did the 7 chakra series where it was 1 chakra every day. So this month was, in the month of July that is, it was just really trying to keep trying to keep hold of what was going on. So I worked with this deck right here, which is such a beautiful deck. This is the Sacred Nature Oracle. Pushing things around here, guys, trying to make things look nice for you, and then I'm just ruining it here. Sacred Nature Oracle. This was originally an indie deck, and then it came out mass market. When it was indie, I really liked it. Is my candle even on? Just barely. Oh my goodness. I put off for so long. Oh, my candle just went off. See that? Oh well, okay. But I really enjoy this deck. If you have not taken a look at this deck, I encourage you to, I have not done a walkthrough of this deck, but I know that there has to be some out there. I haven't really looked. But this deck is really a contemplative deck. And if you can see some of these key words, deep listening, integrity, engagement, joy, commitment, tranquility, acceptance. It's a real contemplative deck. And it does make you just take some time and feel. And I think so often I hear, and I know some people like read for others, so you need quick hits, and I totally get that. But if you have the time to slow down and really contemplate some of the things that are going on, I really encourage you to seek some decks that help you slow down a little bit. Now, going into the beginning of the month, right away we were into a new moon in Cancer. And of course, that's my oldest son's sign. So I understand the Cancer mentality very well. And then my father was also a Cancer. And so I wanted something that spoke from the heart, that was loving, caring, spoke from the heart. And I chose this deck here, which is the Tarot of Strange Branches or Twigs, or I don't know. There's a few interpretations. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it in French because that would not be helpful. This deck, this is one of my favorite decks. I love this deck. I love the images. I love how beautiful the images are, and how much they really show energy, caring, that releasing of energy, that sending of energy, that calling in of energy. She is working with nature and from the heart. Like, everything about this deck comes deeply emotional. It's deeply from the heart. Nothing is mediocre here within this deck. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly or not, but I just love this deck for that reason. And for me, it really fit the whole idea of Cancer, because when a Cancer loves you, they love deeply. Like, they'll sacrifice anything to put themselves at your disposal. They really will. They're beautiful. And this deck, it kind of carries that energy, that she is completely engaged. She's completely feeling, and just giving so much energy, so much beautiful energy. I truly love this deck. I don't need a guidebook for it. There is a guidebook. It does come with the deck. It's available on Amazon. I believe it's still available on Amazon. But at the beginning, when I first got this deck, I did utilize the guidebook, and I was doing Google Translate, but the images are so descriptive within themselves. There's so much feeling within that deck that I really never felt like I needed it too much. Also, I was utilizing the breakdown of the new moon and full moon. I've been doing this for the past few months, and I really enjoy it. From the creator of Be With Your Body Tarot, she has a Substack, and she does a complete breakdown of whatever it is that you're working with that month. And she always includes her deck, Be With Your Body Tarot, and explains the energy of it and gets into that specific card. So utilizing this deck along with whatever deck I'm using for the energy of it has really been helpful. Be With Your Body Tarot has become such an important deck for me. I really appreciate that deck. I pull that deck so many times before I go and I teach, or before I'm going to go and do a healing. It's just an amazing deck. Okay, so in the beginning of the month, we took a trip, and within that trip, I'm not going to get into the details of that because it was for a healing session. And so I took the self-love tarot as part of that healing session, and it was a very beautiful. I don't really very often get into journaling about the healing sessions that I do, but this session was so profound. It was so beautiful. It was so deep, and I was receiving so many messages. I am not joking. It's as if somebody or something opened up my brain and was just downloading so much information for me to pass along and to help me work with this particular person for a limpia and for cleansing and to repair, and to have that, what is referred to in my practice, to have that plática, not only before but afterwards as well. And the afterwards conversation, that afterwards plática, was amazing. Really amazing. And the client was really thankful, and it touched upon so many things for her. So it was a really deep session. And like I said, I don't really journal about them very often, but I did with this one. Okay, so now going into more of the month's practice, I was working with the Pocket of Vines Tarot. Now this is a deck that I received in June, and I like it. It's a quirky deck, and I like it. She is extremely positive. This is all you get. This is pretty much the guidebook that you receive with this deck. Now, originally, I got it and I was like, oh, how am I going to work with this deck? Because it doesn't have the names of, or the numbers of the minors, and it doesn't have the names. It changes for a lot of them. It changes the name of the majors. So I went through and I had taken my trusty little erasable pen. I love my erasable pens. Nobody can pull these pens away from me. I love them. They're so good. But I had used my erasable pen. I had tried it on one of these and then erased it and thought, okay, it works. I don't need to worry about whether or not I want to go back later and remove them. So I went through and I just wrote the numbers of the majors on each one, but as I began to work with the deck, I soon just realized I don't need the numbers because I'm understanding enough of the message just within the deck and the way that it's worded. So the witch right here, it says talents, dexterity, imagination. And that's enough of a conversation within itself. Even if you don't relate it to the major, it's enough of a conversation. So if you are put off by not having the names of the majors, you can use it as an oracle deck, but truthfully, I have not had a problem and I really enjoy using it as a tarot deck. So I'm going to show you some of the decks that I paired this one up with. So as I'm flipping through this book, you're going to see some of the things that I was working with it alongside, and it was really, really great. Let me go ahead and just show you some of these pairings, because I think I showed some of the pairings when I did the walkthrough, but there's some of them that I think maybe I didn't include and they were good. So this is the Empty Cup Oracle, and I think I shared this one. And I do love the play of colors between the two. I think that they are just marvelous together. And I love how forward the conversation is between these two decks. Again, this one does have a little guidebook here, and it's good, but really when you're looking at it, you know, microscope, what do I need to look more deeply into? What do I need to maybe focus on a little bit more? Maybe I need to expand my vision a little bit more. So you can really get into a conversation just based on the title of the card or the keyword, whatever in the heck you want to call it. And this deck here with these little keywords on the bottom, I just think it's amazing. I think that this combination was fantastic. I really loved working with these two together. Another deck that I put up alongside this deck, whoop, I'm just dropping it here, is the Poiesis Oracle. I thought that these would work really well together, and although the message was okay, I really didn't love it. So there's a lot of work to be done with this particular deck. This is a fantastic deck, but these two for me just didn't, it just didn't work. Now, there are a couple more that I really liked, and I think this was a deck that I didn't consider, and this is the Wisdom de Alma. It is a 44 card affirmation deck, but for me, it's not the same little affirmation decks that you're familiar with, which is all sunshine and roses. No, it's pretty blunt, and it's pretty direct to get you off your butt and work through whatever you need to work through. And I did enjoy working with these side by side, but this was more of a real conversation where it's like, hey, you know, can you work on this, please? You know, I don't want to have this conversation with you again. So that's the way that particular reading went. Now, the other pairing that I came up with for this deck, I didn't use this, but it would have worked real well. And I hadn't worked with this for a little bit, and I love this one, which is the Literary Witches Oracle. I love this deck. This is, I've had this for several years now, and I just love this deck. I really do. I don't take it out quite enough. Maybe I take it out more during those darker months, but I really love the conversation. I didn't use this is the tools for the witches. I didn't use the tools, but as you can see, they would work very well together. But the conversation between the witches and this tarot deck, oh my gosh, you guys, it was amazing. I really loved it because it brought in a certain archetype or personality or things to consider, and then taking that reading deeper with the tarot, and it was just fantastic. I loved it. So that is the Literary Witches, and I would venture to say that the Literary Witches alongside the Empty Cup were my two favorite pairings for the Pocket of Vines Tarot. I really enjoy working with this one. And the cardstock, you guys, the cardstock is fantastic. I really, really like this deck. So I'm really glad that I bought it, because I kind of went back and forth after I ordered it, kind of a little bit of that that buyer's remorse thing. And I think that's just because, you know, like I've said within the past few months, I have a lot of things going on right now, guys. So I'm trying to be very, very careful with how and where I am spending my funds. This was a New Trecena, and I did work with the Poesis and the Pocket of Vines. Beautiful, beautiful reading, but like I said, it's really more of a different conversation. And of course, I'm including my flows in my journals, which is fantastic. And again, another flow, Be With Your Body Tarot, which again is, it's just part of the landscape around here now, guys. Okay, so this was another pairing that I really enjoyed. So this is Remembering the Sweet Fool, and I think I don't know if I've talked about this pairing already or not. I think I talked about it alongside the Death Doula, which I really like. This, I was gonna go and I can't remember this card. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just share something with you. This card comes up so often for me. So often. Catalyst always comes up when I'm working with the energy arcology. And I'm like, I'm working with you for my clients or for my students, and yet you keep showing up. So you're telling me I have some work to be done, right? I mean, you keep showing up for a reason. But Remembering the Sweet Fool, seriously, guys, this is such a beautiful, beautiful deck. I've had it in for several months now, and I keep it close by because I really, really love the depth of this deck. It touches into places and spaces that it's unexplainable. It is so beautiful. It's ethereal. It is just beautiful, beautiful. I think at one point I said this looked like you were peeling, but I think it's like almost like looks like it could be like a paraffin wax. I don't know if you've ever done that. I used to go for therapy for a while, and they used to put this paraffin wax on my hands, and then peeling it off, it would kind of look like that. But this deck, this combination, it was really, really deep. And even though these aren't exactly perfect as far as aesthetics are concerned, but it really got down to the heart of the matter, like really like that depth, because this is all about the bones, the energy, what resides within the body. And then you have this, which is covering everything else. It's just encompassing everything else. It's like that ether type of a deck. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was beautiful, beautiful. This is a deep, deep deck. I really love Remembering the Sweet Fool. This is an amazing, amazing deck. She does have the mini. I would love to get my hands on a mini, but at this time, I can't. But I can't stop talking about Remembering the Sweet Fool because it's amazing. If you want to take the time with a deck, if you have the time to sit with it, to be with it, then I suggest it. If you don't have the time, you might not get it. Okay, the Thunder Moon, full moon in Capricorn. This was a really good time, but I was kind of disconnected at this point as well. So I was trying hard, guys, just to be focused, just to be in it. See, right now I'm just like, what did I do? I use the Penumbra Tarot by Ethany. This was deep and dark for me, this full moon. And I think it was just because it was so close to the anniversary of my son's passing. It's 19 years, and I know that sounds like a long time, right? But as a mom, no, it's never easy to, you know, to not have your kid here. So I used this deck, and it was meaty. The reading was meaty, and it really had me take a good hard look at certain things. It was a fantastic reading, and the images within this deck, they tap into something deep, kind of an uncovering, I should say. I love how they have those element cards in there. There's just something to be said about this deck. And this was one of the decks that I was like, oh, I don't know. But it's good. It's good, guys. I really enjoyed the reading that I had with this deck. And I did want to tap in a little bit more to it, but I think I had to wait for a little bit because that reading was just so darn deep. Okay, we're going to take a moment. I know this is the middle of the video, but we're going to take a moment because I really want to read this poem to you guys. I read it in my classes, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful poem. So if you can please just take a moment, close your eyes, get comfortable, close your eyes, as long as you're not driving. Take a moment, close your eyes, take some deep breaths. Go ahead and inhale. Allow that breath to just flow down into the body. And if you can just imagine that your breath is opening up, oxygenating every single cell within your body, oxygenating your blood. Imagine that you can see the movement within the body from the oxygen, from that inhale. And as you exhale, releasing anything that you no longer need. I beg you to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers, which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Take a big inhale and slowly exhale. Begin to open your eyes. Thank you for taking the time to allow that to sink in. It is such a beautiful, beautiful poem. And this was a big reminder for me as I was walking into this time where I was, working with that memory of what happened during that time when I lost my son, that it was so important to live everything. He was the biggest reminder of that within my life. Seriously, that boy, he lived. Like, he had a good time. Even though some of the things that he was doing weren't approved by me, I can see now how and why, life takes the twists and turns and things happen. And you know what? with the way things turned out, I'm glad he took some of those opportunities. But remember to live everything, like every breath, every single breath, live everything. So I was working with the Cosmic Witch Tarot and the Awakened Soul. These two are like, it's a no-brainer. These decks just flow together, and I think it's Nova. Nova stated that she loves the Awakened Soul Oracle deck, and I get it. Now I see why. I gotta be honest, this is not my favorite art style, but the art, the words, the guidebook, amazing. Amazing, guys. It's amazing. And it really did help liven my soul. It really did. And I needed it at that time. And this is the Cosmic Witch Tarot, or Cosmic Wisdom. Why do I keep calling it Cosmic Witch? I think I've said that on several occasions. Cosmic Wisdom. Holy moly. Great deck. Very descriptive. I love the images. They're bright, they're lively. It is a direct translation of the RWS, so it is easy to read. And it is easy to translate your messages from. But I really enjoyed working with these two. I really liked them. It was what I needed during those days. It really was. So it really was helpful. This was a really good pairing, guys. And Ethany, gosh, thank you. Thank you so much for these decks that, to be honest, like I probably would have been still putting off some of these purchases, and I would have been missing out, because these decks have something, this Cosmic Wisdom, that are very easily translated, very beautifully put, even within the guidebook. Like, it's just a really, this would be like one of your basic decks to have. I really think, like, if you want a good reader, I think this is probably a deck to get. And then the Awakened Soul too. Very nice, very nice. Here it is again. And then days later, I pulled out here the Vina Tarot deck. This was one of my gift decks, and I really love this little deck. It's so cute. Look at how tiny she is. She's so cute. And by the same creator, we have the Vessel Oracle. The Vessel Oracle was already within my within my collection. And so these two, I mean, look at them. There's just enough brightness within this deck to liven up whatever's going on. And it's cheeky, they're good messages, they're descriptive messages. I like that. I love this combination. And you know what? This little funky art style, I think it's so cool. And sometimes you really need to just relax a little bit, let go of the depth of everything, and kind of like, it's not that it's not deep, but let go of the complexity of the art is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, not everything, you don't have to make a 7-course meal every single day. You know, you can have hamburgers. You can have hamburgers and it's going to be good and it's going to be nourishing. It doesn't have to be a 7-course meal. Am I saying that right? And are you gonna, because I'm not putting down hamburgers. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, not everything has to like wake you up and shake you, you know? So there is that. So that, guys, that's it. That's the end of it. Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to push any of these decks. I'm just telling you my experiences with them. I really didn't work with that many decks. I feel like I didn't this month. But the decks that I worked with, they were all here, like especially these new decks into my collection. They were all here at the right time, and I really needed some of these decks to work with. And they really did fall in line with my Goddess of the Month, like working into that deeper, the cosmos, the earth, the Milky Way, the depth, the darkness. It was amazing. Like, all of the decks that I was working with were just, it was just perfect. And it was a hard month, hard month for me. So thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for being patient with me. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day from my heart to yours. I will see you later.